Hello, I'm Dale Petrock. I took my Mossberg 152 out to the range earlier today to try various kinds of ammo with it. I've shot it for, well, I've owned the rifle probably almost 50 years, probably 45 to 50 years anyway. And it was one of the first rifles I picked up. It was my father's. The model 152, of course, was manufactured from 1948 to 1952, and I'm not sure which year this one was made. It's a semi-automatic 22 with an 18-inch barrel. Came originally with a peep sight, but my dad replaced it with a scope, and I killed a million scopes on that, being a teenager with a 22. 7-shot detachable box magazine. Um, you'll see the picture in the upper corner here. I'll display it, but I've had it since I was 14, and I'm 63 these days, so I've had it a while. I really like the rifle. Things I don't like about the rifle are essentially two. One is the trigger on it is like a monster to pull. It has got the worst trigger of any of the rifles I have ever owned. And second is it is at times some of the pickiest feeding in terms of feeding ammunition from the magazine into the rifle that I have ever kind of encountered. Sometimes it works wonderfully, and sometimes with certain types of ammo, it's just difficult. And you'll see that in the video of the shooting if you stick around to do that. In any case, I shot 4 types of ammo today with the rifle to 50 yards. Off a bench, you'll see the rig also in the video or shortly hereafter. Shooting off a front rest with a protector bag and off a rear protector bag at 50 yards, as I said. And so I shot Eley Team, SK Rifle Match, CCI Standard Velocity, and Lapua Center X. This was just to give me a sense of how well it performed and whether it was as good a shooting rifle as I remembered, given the drawback with the trigger pull, that kind of thing. It has a CenterPoint 4 to 20 scope on it, so an inexpensive scope on an inexpensive rifle that is, again, manufactured somewhere between 1948 and 1952. So it's not a spring chicken as rifles go. So you can pick these up fairly inexpensively as well. What you'll see is in the ammo that I tested, I chose to kind of set it up so that I shot 4 groups. The intention was to shoot 4 or 5-shot groups and kind of see how that worked out. And the first I shot was Eley Team, and you'll see the target here for Eley Team across the top. The first group was about 0.66, second group was about 0.87, third group was about 1.10, and the fourth group was 0.83, so the average was about 0.87 with a standard deviation of about 0.18. The second group in that was SK Rifle Match, which first group was 0.99, second group 0.71, third group 0.56, fourth group 0.59, for an overall average of 0.71 with a standard deviation of 0.20. Third on that same sheet is CCI Standard Velocity. It was the worst shooting ammo of the day, and it was, first group was 1.16, second 0.94, third 1.13, fourth 1.39, for an overall average of 1.16 with a standard deviation of about 0.18. Lapua Center X had some great potential. What I would do is pull together 4 groups, 4-shot groups pretty consistently, and then have 1 flyer. I suspect in some of that the flyer is probably me struggling with the trigger on this one. but it overall did very, very well as well. Second only to SK Rifle Match Special, or Rifle Match, excuse me. First group was .74, second group .51, third group .87, fourth group 1.28. And because I was putting 4 shots essentially touching each other most of the time with the Lapua Center X, I thought, well, I'll shoot a couple of extra groups and see what comes of it. And the extra 2 groups I shot was a .72 and a 1.18. Now, the interesting thing across all of these Lapua Center X groups was that for all 4-shot groups, it averaged under .57. The first 4-shot group measured .52, then .38, then .37, then .44, .52, .58, for an overall average of .47 with a standard deviation of 0.08. Sorry. So the rifle shoots very, very well with the right ammunition. The main drawback for this particular firearm is the ability to kind of control the trigger. It is around 4 pounds, and it's not a smooth release. It's like a 3 or 4 stage trigger. It is predictable in that once you start shooting it, you get a good sense of when it's going to go off. You know what the next step is. You know what to expect. But it is a bear to control, and you can't squeeze that hard in free recoil. You really have to have some grip on the rifle, which hinders your ability to kind of control the rifle as well. So the potential is there if one could figure out how to control the trigger on that rifle to do fairly well. Again, when we look at this Lapua Center X and the SK Rifle Match Special, it suggests to me that for a semi-automatic rifle when it was made, that it has a great deal of potential to be a fun little range gun and plinker, but the necessity to kind of figure out how to work with the trigger is really its biggest struggle. As always, may all your shooting be X's, and if there are questions, let me know.